Okay, this is the fourth video. This one has to do with putting text onto the pictures. So we're going to pick a picture here. There we go, this one right there. And what we want to do is put text on it up in the cloud somewhere. So we're going to come way over here, and notice as you move across there, as your cursor slides over other pictures, they change up on this screen here in the middle or over on the right. So we're coming way over here, and there's a letter T, stands for text or title. So we're going to click that. You get a bunch of choices down here having to do with where to place the text on the screen. I personally always use the upper. That's this fourth one over here on this side. And I'm going to drag it, and I'm not going to drag it up to the big picture. I'm going to drag it over to the little picture. So clicking down here on the upper, you can see it sliding across the screen, and there it is. Now note right away that this rectangular box is created up here above the picture. That will be your key for getting back into this area when you want to come back and change something. So you can see over here all of this text where it says title text here. That light blue in the background tells you that it's ready for typing, and so I'm going to put North Beach there. Now the reason I use upper is because if I want to move this text to somewhere else in the picture, I use the carriage returns to move it down, and I use the space to move it across. That's just the way I choose to do it. I think that's the best way. So I'm going to click up here in front of North and hit the enter key a couple of times, and you see it come sliding down. And then I'm going to slide or use the space bar to slide it across, and there it is. And then down here in the bottom right hand side where it says done, I'll click done. Oops, click done, and we're done. Now, of course, you're going to want to come back and change this because the font's not the right size, or you want to bold it, or you want to italicize it, or change the color, or something else. So the key to getting back in here is to start with this little rectangle up here. Click it one time. It'll have a yellow box around it. You now see that you've got a box around our North Beach. And if we want to put in another line here, I click on the other side of the H and put in a carriage return and put North Carolina. And if I want to center that, then I'll put spaces in front of it, and then I've made that change. Now, to change your font sizes, your colors, all of those things, down here we have something called Show Fonts. That will take us to this screen here. That allows us to change the font, and as I run the mouse across the different fonts, you can see how, alright, so there's one font, and as I slide down this first big column, you can see the text changing. Okay, if we wanted to change colors, this second column, that's the white, that's black, blue. I'm sliding down the second column. You will have different colors. If you want to change one of these colors to something else, you go into Preferences, and I'm not going to discuss that in this video. Here's the font sizes. This is the smallest one, is a 1. I'm in this third column, 1, 2, and as I go down it gets bigger and bigger. So I can change it to blue by clicking on blue. I can change the font type to Impact, and I can change the size to a 5. Now, other things I can do in the bottom of this, right here, there's a B for bold. So if it's already bold, I think. If I click that, some fonts do not have bold or italics. Let me pick a different font here. Okay, Future Media. Okay, so now I'm back down here with this style down here. So I can click it, I can make it bold, I can italicize it, and this last button puts color around the letter. So if you notice there, they're just blue. If I click that third button, it puts black around the blue. So then I click done down here in the bottom. That makes this little screen go away. And I click done over here on this right hand side, and that makes the white line go away, and I've got my text up there. So that is the way to do it. Thank you very much. Oh, here's something else. Suppose you wanted to get rid of all of this text. Well, you could go in and blanket, just put in spaces. But what you'd rather do is go up here to this little rectangle that I talked about, okay, up there at the very top. Remember, that's your doorway to get in here. Right-click that, you get a drop-down list, and you click Delete Selection, and that will get rid of that rectangle. So when you look at your pictures, it's funny, but the text, like here's a picture over on the left-hand side. Let's see if you can see that. I can't. Yeah, you can see that. Okay. So over here, that the text doesn't show up in the little picture, but it shows up in the big picture. So if I click the little picture over on the left and I slide over here, notice it's not there. I find that extremely confusing. And the only way to get it here is to go to this rectangle up at the top that says I've got text here, and you click it, and then your text will be there. It's got a box around it. That means that we can now start editing it. We can move it up and down if I wanted to move it down the, carriage return. That moves it down the screen, and if I wanted to move it across the screen, I'd use spaces. And put spaces there. And then if I wanted to change the colors and the font and the size and all that stuff, I'd go down here and I'd click this Show Fonts. That gives me all of these choices down here in this menu, where I can change the type of font, or the colors of the font, or the sizes of the fonts. And you can also change it from bold and italics, and the placing of the color, the black color around the text. And then you click done when you're done down here, and then click done over here, and that gets you out of this edit mode. That's the movie. Thank you.